Jumping in to The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, Thorin Oakenshield re-enters his former home to reclaim the Arkenstone from the dragon within. Memories of chambers filled with golden light greet him in the dormant halls of the seventh kingdom of Durin's folk. Already it is setting in.
A sickness lies upon that treasure hoard. A sickness which drove your grandfather mad.
I am not my grandfather.
Despite his protests, Thorin is not himself, for the scent of Smaug is fire to the greed of dwarves. A fire that draws them in, not away, to the prospect of wealth, prosperity, power, and
gold.
The dwarf captain's eyes grow heavy with the perfume of his birthright, the further in he wanders. He wants the king's jewel. He wants it all. If friends stand in his way, his sword will stand in theirs. He is a reflection of the boastful beast crawling into his soul and over his stolen treasure. Dragon sickness burns in the Lord of Silver Fountains as the dragon burns his back. For years, Thorin's character has been tried by the absence of Erebor's bounty. Now it is being tried by the possibility of reclaiming it. Returning to the middle chapter of the Hobbit trilogy, in the King's Hall, the king of Durin's folk faces the
King under the mountain
and gives him glad tidings of a painful punishment. Smaug's forehead, sides, and back are branded with what he hoarded up for himself, and the taste of that which he hoarded stings like the fire of hell. Later in Lake Town, he tastes the death he hoarded and unleashed upon the people of Dale over a century past, and is brought asunder by a black arrow. Beneath his lifeless corpse, the miserly master of Lake Town, who consumed the wealth of the people falsely, also tastes that which he hoarded. Seeing how gold can swamp both dragons and men and be something entirely other than glittering treasure, one would think that Thorin, son of Thrain, now king under the mountain, would see the wealth of Erebor with warier eyes. But as the opening of The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies demonstrates, his eyes are only on the wealth of Erebor, while a town of innocent people burns behind him. The test stares him in the face, but he does not see it. Jumping back into the story, before long every soul in Middle-earth will know that Smaug is dead, and that the lonely mountain, with all its riches, is guarded by a measly sum of exiled dwarves. The ravens of Erebor are already returning to the mountain, and its foes are soon to follow, King Thorin knows. But what he does not know, whilst stomping back to his stronghold, is that while the dragon lies ruined in Lake Town, its spirit survives inside him, blazing and biting to go home to its hoard. As does the now fully awakened spirit of Thror, Thorin's grandfather, who hoarded the gold of Erebor long before the dragon first came. Gold, gold beyond measure, beyond sorrow and grief, says Thorin the first time we see him lusting over his bounty.
Behold, the great treasure hoard of Thror.
In only a matter of days, Thorin has failed the test of plenty. His dragon sickness is in full swing. Dragon sickness, as defined by the film, is a terrible need, a fierce and jealous love for gold, prosperity, and power that deteriorates the minds of all who contract it, dwarves being the most susceptible, and is especially potent if an enormous dragon has only recently ceased slumbering upon the gold, prosperity, and power in question. In the days before Smaug, the disease overthrew the mind of Thror, and in the days after Smaug, it is, as we are seeing, rapidly overthrowing the mind of his grandson. Walls of stone go up immediately to guard the treasure of Erebor at Thorin's demented command. Meanwhile, the people of Lake Town have nothing, have lost everything, and are now camping in the barren city of Dale. But, like a robber in his hold, undeterred by this sorry sight, the king under the mountain fences himself in, disdaining any interest in helping them.
More stone.
He would rather have war than entertain the possibility of being generous to men and elves, who also need the resources of the mountain, even if it means breaking his word.
You gave us your word.
Begone! Ere our arrows fly!
Luckily for Thorin, the people of Lake Town, and the elves also, there is a particularly brave burglar named Bilbo Baggins in the midst of this charged circumstance, who, upon first seeing the derangement of his master, chose for the Arkenstone to remain unfound, knowing that bequeathing the king's jewel to the king would only complete his lunacy. A lunacy that speaks not in the tongue of a dwarf, but in that of a dragon. The dragon.
I will not part with a single coin.
Indeed, Bilbo's choice to not only hide the Arkenstone, but to eventually smuggle it out of Erebor to the men and elves is what saved Thorin from becoming lost entirely. That, and also the crazed king's showdown with the ghost of Smaug himself, on the very gold that nearly drowned the beast. It is in this scene, while the battle of the five armies rages outside, that the king beneath the mountains penetrates the shadow smothering his soul. Whispers of kinsfolk he has spurned, folly he has spat, and the terrible truth of what his inheritance has transformed him into confronts him all at once. He has not been behaving like the noble heir to the throne of Durin, has not been seeing past his own desire. No, instead he has been betraying himself and others for the blind ambition of a mountain king named Thrall, not Thorin Oakenshield. He has been valuing gold above home, and has made his world a war-torn place. He is changed. He is the grandson full of the grandfather's madness, lesser now than he has ever been. He is Smaug returned to the lonely mountain. This treasure will be his death, he realizes while watching his future self sink into the same pool as the brooding serpent, finally understanding that if he continues on this path, he will taste that which he hoarded and die a dragon, not a dwarf. And so instead of falling for this trap till the end, Thorin, son of Thrain, son of Thrall, casts down his crown, and with it his dragon sickness. He breathes a breath of fresh air as himself once more, hearing the words,
I am not my grandfather.
Echoing throughout his entire being. After much confusion and internal turmoil, the king of carven stone has come into his own.
To back